Chapter 263. The Minotaur stood in the center and initiated the competition, but he was following the commands of the divine tree. He created a field of enhanced gravity over the entire arena. Look, even the ground beneath his feet was beginning to crack. Thousands of mutated beasts charging toward him were suddenly halted in their tracks. Who said this competition was just about speed? That's merely what you all imagined. The heavy, hulking beasts were the first to struggle. If their bones weren't sturdy enough, they would certainly be crushed under the pressure. The unluckiest one was that poor giraffe. Its neck was on the verge of snapping in two. Meanwhile, over here, the wolf, sheep, and camel were yelling at each other in a chaotic mess. "It's just a misunderstanding, my friend," one of them said. "I had no intention of blocking your path." The humans participating in the competition were also straining themselves to the limit. This was the moment for them to summon their strength. They needed to move under the intense magnetic force bearing down on them. It was truly a harsh ordeal. Even though they had mentally prepared themselves beforehand, they could never have imagined it would be this grueling. The Minotaur observed the scene and noticed that most of the mutated beasts couldn't withstand the pressure. However, a few of them were exceeding his expectations. Longer felt as though he were being blessed by his ancestors, and the gravity seemed to have little effect on him. Without hesitation, Longer seized the opportunity and sprinted forward as quickly as he could. The next beast to surprise everyone was the panda, lagging behind all the others. Yet, despite its slow pace, it was moving effortlessly on all fours. Clearly, the gravity was not weighing it down much either. Suddenly, a savage shadow appeared beside the panda. Several tigers violently shoved it aside. These were the purple tiger and other members of the tiger clan. They were also subjected to the intense gravity, but what allowed them to keep moving was not ancestral blessings or sheer luck, it was the sheer power of their muscles. This guy, seeing the tigers moving so quickly, became alarmed. But it wasn't just them. Even the orangutans ahead were managing to push through the intense gravity using their physical strength. Then, he was left utterly bewildered as the sky seemed to darken. He and his companion looked up, and Longer clicked his tongue in disbelief. A gigantic mutated beast was blocking out the sky. What on earth was that thing? A turtle? Those in its path immediately had to scramble to the sides if they didn't want to be crushed into dust. However, even the turtle might need to move aside because something even larger, at least 10 times its size, was approaching. It was the Titan. The smaller creatures could only see its massive foot stomping down. Longer sighed in exasperation. Even 100 of my steps couldn't match just one of his. He told himself he had to try harder. The muscular brute behind him had the same thought. They didn't realize that for a being of such enormous size, each of the Titan's steps required an immense effort. This competition was actually quite fair. The larger you were, the harder it was to move. The divine tree observed the scene and noticed that far more mutated beasts had passed the test than expected, so it instructed the Minotaur to increase the gravity. The gravity field was then upgraded to 20 times normal, and the energy that powered it shifted from purple to golden. Those mutated beasts that had barely been able to move earlier were now completely immobilized. Their heads were pinned to the ground, and even their tongues were stuck to the earth, rendering them unable to curse as they had before. The weaker humans suffered internal injuries and spat blood on the spot. The giant snake seemed to have given up on the competition entirely. Even the purple tiger, though not pressed down to the ground, had begun to slow down significantly, forcing itself to take one painstaking step at a time. The divine tree surveyed the scene with satisfaction. Now things were finally about to get interesting. The wind wolf and the bull trudged along together, both of them coughing up blood. The gravity was like a monstrous force pulling their insides downward. It was known that muscles could be powerful, but internal organs were fragile. If one didn't know how to protect them with spiritual energy, the organs would be the first to suffer damage. This competition wasn't just for the strong. It was for the wise and the skillful as well. Despite having slowed down significantly, the snow bear still proved to be a formidable species, inching forward with great difficulty. Longer was also moving, albeit at a painfully slow pace. His lungs were damaged, fresh blood oozed from his mouth, and breathing had become quite challenging. Yet he remained determined to press on. Cheesy's underlings, on the other hand, began to regret coming here. Although the panda could still move, the exhaustion was overwhelming. Forcing a panda to endure fatigue and hard labor was nothing short of a cruel punishment. At this moment, the divine tree noticed something rather intriguing and felt a hint of doubt. Is that a four-winged bird? It appeared to be flying under the intense X-20 gravity. Immediately, an information panel popped up. Immortal Blood Raven rank. Transcendent Third Order. Innate ability. Immortal Blood Raven. This is no ordinary creature. The Immortal Blood Raven is composed of countless droplets of blood. Each droplet is a powerful life form and also constitutes the life force of the entire Blood Raven. When the Blood Raven is attacked and can no longer withstand it, it will self-detonate and die, but the blood droplets will remain. These droplets will quickly regenerate into a new Blood Raven, ready to fight once more. Special skill, Life Drain. When injured or near death, the Immortal Blood Raven will explode, threatening everyone within sight with its immense power. Key feature: the Immortal Blood Raven can continuously regenerate from its own blood droplets. After regeneration, it becomes stronger with enhanced offensive capabilities. Note: caution is advised, as each droplet of its blood can regenerate into another Blood Raven. The divine tree thought it had discovered a fascinating mutated beast. This Blood Raven is truly interesting. It's a being composed of countless ravens, capable of reassembling and regenerating. The fallen ravens will be absorbed by stronger Blood Ravens, helping them grow even more powerful. Moreover, there was a gigantic lava beast charging forward, seemingly unfazed by the powerful gravity. Even a sea monster had appeared, dragging a tidal wave in its wake. The divine tree wondered, could this creature have evolved on land? The orangutan clan, despite the heavy gravity, could still run swiftly. It seemed that their daily training under Ching Chong's guidance was finally paying off. Could it be that Ching Chong had leaked the challenge beforehand? Of course not. The divine tree had crafted the challenge entirely on a whim. No mutated beast, not even the main force of Misty Mountain, knew what the challenge would be. And even if they did, Misty Mountain would never cheat, for in the culture of these beasts, cheating was the mark of the weak. The purple tiger roared, commanding its kin to quickly accelerate and catch up to the leading pack. Indeed, the tigers not only had to win, but they also had to demonstrate the dignity and authority of their clan in this competition. The Snow Bear clan shared the same sentiment. They had only one option: charge forward, crush them all. As expected, the members of Misty Mountain soon became the leading group, drawing ever closer to the Minotaur. Ching Chong was quite pleased, watching the orangutans he had trained advance among the top contenders. But, he thought to himself, if they had fallen behind, he would have been too embarrassed to face the divine tree. The divine tree then noticed a butterfly. Was that a swallowtail butterfly participating? It was a mutated beast with a light attribute. Indeed, the light fruit was of great importance to it. After identifying the leaders and potential standouts, the divine tree could already predict who would claim the light fruit. Suddenly, the assassin mantis appeared, emerging from the space behind the divine tree. The divine tree always kept it patrolling the periphery of the void. Its primary purpose was to scout for any creatures within the void. Ever since that illusionary experience, the divine tree had been haunted and remained in a constant state of high alert. As expected, the purple scythe reported that it had detected an unprecedented presence, one that was immensely powerful and rapidly approaching. The divine tree was startled. Could there really be a creature from another dimension, one that had never been encountered before? Observing the demeanor of the purple scythe, the divine tree knew that this entity was indeed formidable, perhaps even capable of threatening the mantis. The divine tree felt a pang of concern. This could be a life-threatening situation for the mantis. Suddenly, the purple scythe spoke up. "Master, I want to go alone." The divine tree immediately asked if it was certain about this decision. given that the opponent was incredibly strong. The purple scythe confirmed its resolve. Without hesitation, the divine tree ordered it to continue its mission, but reminded it to be extremely cautious. The purple scythe obeyed and departed at once. While the mantis was now impervious to any earthbound creature, an extraterrestrial being could indeed pose a significant danger. The divine tree could only hope that its subordinate would be safe. With a sense of urgency, the divine tree coiled itself and commanded its spatial roots to move. It decided to quietly follow and observe from a distance. After all, knowing your enemy is the key to victory. Meanwhile, deep within that distant, shadowy void far from the light of the stars, a colossal beast with blood-red eyes was silently making its way forward. Its massive mouth, filled with a jawline of uneven, sharp teeth, was a sight to behold, clearly, a mouth that could only belong to a creature that had been starved for countless years. Was this not the unmistakable sign of a ravenous beast that had been deprived of sustenance for far too long? End of chapter 263.